Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Voice is slowly improving, still a little scratchy while I recover from this rotten chest cold. So, new Waffle flower release for May. I still can't believe it's May. Anyway, I did a whole bunch of die cutting before I started actually filming this video because otherwise we'd just be sitting here watching me die cut and that gets boring. I'm using the new Go Girl stamp set and the coordinating wafer dies. This set, it's so much fun. I just want to keep doing more because you can customize everything. So really fun, typical kind of waffle flower, quirky, unique sort of style. So I die cut all the different hairstyles. There's 4 different hairstyles from 4 different colors of cardstock. This is a great set to use up scraps. I just dived into my scrap bin. So I'm using like a combination of Simon Says stamp cardstock, some Lawn Fawn cardstock. I think there's some Hero Arts in here, like just random pieces that I had in my stash. So I die cut all that. There's different face options in the stamp set itself that you could just stamp onto your card base or whatever and then add the die cuts. But instead I stamped them onto just cardstock with tea dye, Oxide ink, and then trim them with scissors. And then I stamped, there's 2 different lip options. I stamped those with Festive Berries Oxide ink. And then there's a little stripe stamp in the set, and I'm stamping that onto the little like upper shirt portion. There's a wafer die for that, of course. So I am stamping them with Oxide inks just to give them that pattern. And now that I'm editing it, I'm like, oh, these would be fun to die cut from actual pattern paper. So you give them like, you know, there's just so many options. So many options. So I stamped all mine just for convenience sake and because I wanted them all to kind of, you know, tie into each other. I was going for the more clean and simple look with all the die cuts. The little sunglasses wafer die in the set, just love it, love it. And I die cut that from black cardstock and from some Tonic Holo Waves. It's called Holo Waves. It's basically like silver holographic foiled cardstock. Very difficult. Like what it looks like online is not what it looks like in real life. It's just basically like almost like a silver foil, but it has the holographic reflectiveness to it. It's amazing. Anyway. Did all my die cutting and stamping of those little characters, and then all those pieces I'm just leaving for a minute. I couldn't decide what sentiments to use from the stamp set because I loved all of them. I love this set. I love the words. I love the message, everything. So I lined up all of the sentiments from the set onto black cardstock, just using my little travel stamp platform here. And I had used my anti-static powder tool first, and then stamped everything with Ink on 3's Juicy Clear embossing ink, coating all of it with white embossing powder, heating all of it, and then I discovered that I could flip this piece around and get all the sentiments stamped a second time on the same piece. I would have just used a second piece if I had had to, but I was like, ooh, good. Makes my life a little easier. I can use up the rest of this. Like, this is literally like a scrap piece of cardstock. So I heat emboss the sentiments a second time because I'm going to do 2 cards and 2 bookmarks. So then I've got double the sentiments. Life's easy. I don't have to, you know, sit and because sometimes, I don't know, I overthink things and it's like, what sentiment am I going to use? And, you know, what has the most impact? And this, I was like, I want to use them all. So after I had done all that heat embossing, I used my little guillotine trimmer to trim all the sentiments apart. Even the little tiny pieces, I've shown this in videos, I just use that little plastic like finger protector basically to hold down small pieces of cardstock to trim everything down. And then for my card fronts, I die cut white cardstock with the diamond texture wafer die. This was released previously from Waffle Flower. And it just cuts these little like piercing lines in the diamond shape, which I really like. And then to make my bookmarks, I used the largest of the dotted tags wafer dies. And I die cut those from white cardstock, and then the little reinforcers I die cut from that same Holo Waves cardstock just to tie it all together. And then this I've kind of super sped up because, again, just simple. All I'm doing is just adhering everything together to create my characters. I'm just using craft tacky glue to adhere all these. So I'm going to adhere a character each, 1 to each bookmark, and then 1 to each card front. So just kind of building them from the little like face piece, and then adding the shirt, adding the hair, adding the sunglasses, and then, you know, it all comes together. And then using the different sentiments that I've chosen for everything. So did my bookmarks, and then I'm going to adhere the characters for the card fronts, and then figuring out which sentiments I'm going to use and where and all that fun stuff. And then once I've decided on that, I can adhere all of the sentiments, get those adhered. Now I can adhere the card fronts to my card bases, which are also heavyweight white cardstock. These are standard A2 size cards, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then once I have these card fronts adhered, I'm going to adhere the remaining sentiments, which for both of them, I chose the ones that said, "You are so beautiful inside and out." Again, like, this set is just perfect. So many people just need to get these cards, you know, just send them to everyone. So got all my adhering done. And then for a simple embellishment, I'm just using the Waffle Flower Clean and Clear enamel dots, and I'm just using the white ones from the pack just to give it that little something. I chose the white because I didn't want it to take away from these characters. Then I've got their hollow, like, reflective sunglasses, which I just love. So once I've got all of my little enamel dots in place, my final bit of embellishment is to add some baker's twine. I have this massive jumbo roll of baker's twine by AmyR that I ordered eons ago, and it mostly just sits as decoration, it seems. But I pulled that out because I just thought it would go really nicely with, like, you know, the clean white and then the black sentiments, etc. So I did my old trick of using my reverse tweezers to hold this baker's twine in place. It's like having an extra really tiny set of hands when it comes to tying bows. So that kind of held it in place so I could tie my bow. Kept the tails really long on this. And then for the bookmarks, I found some white ribbon in my stash, just threaded that through the hole of the tag, and then tied that into place with the remaining bit of the baker's twine. So once I did that, that's going to finish off all these cards. As always, there'll be a link below the video to my blog post. There'll be a link to supplies used. This is part of a blog hop, so there's giveaways and all that fun stuff. So check out my blog post. That'll be the first link directly below the video. And if you want to see more, there'll be more inspiration with all the other released products and all that fun stuff. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.